Hello everyone, my name is Ninotpal Tripathi. I am pursuing BTech in Civil Engineering discipline from Dayalbagh Educational Institute, Agra. Currently, I am in third year. This video is made by me as part of the final assignment of Foundation Design course from Sky-Fi Labs. The problem statement for this project is as shown on the screen. Here we would be designing the foundation for the building whose analysis and design we have done in the tall building design assignment. At the ground story there are 16 columns which are spaced in horizontal direction at a distance of 6 meter each and in vertical direction has 6 meter each. And the safe bearing capacity of the soil is 300 kilonewton per meter square and allowable settlement is 1 centimeter. As you can see in this table, the dimensions of the column are given as well as the dead load in the z-axis and the live load in the z-axis and the materials of the column. This information is taken from the tables which we got from the analysis of the tall building. Similarly, for the remaining columns, we have the information. Now we calculate some basic information like the subgrade modulus. Subgrade modulus is equal to the shape bearing capacity over allowable settlement. On dividing this 300 kilonewton per meter square with 1 centimeter, we get the modulus of subgrade as 3 into 10 to the power 4 kilonewton per meter cube. Also, we have to calculate design strip width. As per the IS code, the column strip width is equal to 0.25 L1 or L2, whichever is less. So L1 and L2 is the length of the foundation footing in the X and the Y direction, which is equal, and that is 18 meter. So the strip width is equal to 0.25 into 18 meters, which is 4.5. So the strip width for this assignment is 4.5 meters. The final footing diagram would look something like this. The inner square is the base of the building, which consists of the 16 column, and the outer square is the base of the foundation. Here we have extended the base of the mat foundation by 2 meters in both X and Y directions. So the effective length of the footing is 22 meters in the X direction and 22 meters in the Y direction. Here we would be designing a mat foundation for this assignment. So let's get started. Select the design code as IS 456-2000. Click on the design preferences tab. Go to minimum cover slabs. Change it to 50 mm. And the preferred bar size as 22 mm. Click on OK. Now go to the units. The unit should be set as matrix. Click on OK. For this assignment, we would be designing the foundation by using the grid only model. So click on the grid only option. Here we would be defining the number of the grid lines and the grid spacing. The grid lines in X direction is 19 and in Y direction also it is 19. The grid spacing is 1 meter in X direction and 1 meter in Y direction. Click on OK. The grids have been made by the software. So now we are going to define the slab materials. Go to the Define tab, click on Materials, click on Add New Material, give the name as M40, select the material type as concrete. Now give the following values as shown. Click on OK. The M40 has been added. Now we would add the rebar HYSG 500. Click on Add New Material again. Give the name HYSG 500. click on rebar, give the following properties. Click on OK. Click on OK again. Now we have defined the materials for the slab. Now we would be defining the elements. So go to define, select slab properties, click on add new properties, give the name as mat footing, change the slab material as M40, give an initial thickness of 500 mm which can be later changed, click on OK, click on OK again. Make sure that the type has to be mat for this problem, click on OK, click on OK again. After defining the slab properties, now we would define the column properties. Go to define, click on column properties, click on add new properties, give the name as column 500 by 500. In this assignment, we are having 16 columns for the design, but the dimensions are basically of only two types. One is 500 by 500 mm and the other is 600 by 600 mm. So we will only define two columns. Select the material as M40, give the dimensions as 500, click on OK. Similarly, add column 600 into 600, click on OK, click on OK again. Now we would define the soil subgrid properties. Go to define, select soil subgrid properties, click on modify show property, give the name as soil and change the subgrid modulus to 3 into 10 की power 4 which can be written as 3e plus 4. Click on OK, then click on OK again. Now we would define the loads. Go to define, go to load patterns. Make sure that dead and live loads are added. Click on OK. Now go to define again, select load cases. Make sure that the load case type is linear static for both dead and live. Go to OK. Now go to define, go to load combinations. Here we would define the load combination. Click on add new combo. Here we would be checking the foundation for two criteria. One is the ultimate load criteria and other is your service load criteria. So for combo 1, the scale factor here will be 1.5, dead load and live load also 1.5. For ultimate, check this strength ultimate checkbox, click on OK. Combo 1 is defined. Similarly, add for the service criteria. For service criteria, these three have to be checked. Click on OK. Click on OK again. So now we have defined all the slab properties, slab materials, soil subgrid properties as well as the load cases. Now we would be drawing the slab and the columns. Go to draw tab, select draw slabs areas, make sure the property is mat footing. Now draw the footing. For enclosing the area, make sure that the last point, make sure that the cursor coincides with the first point again. Now we would expand the area of the footing. For that, select the area is selected. Click on edit, go to edit areas, select expand oblique shrink areas, give the offset value as 2 meter, in mm it is 2000 mm. Click on OK. The area of the footing has expanded. Now we would be placing the columns on the footing. Go to the draw option, select draw columns. The property below should be none and the property above should be 500 into 500 column, because we would be drawing first 500 into 500 column, which are the outer columns. The height above is 2 meters according to the plan. Now place the columns as shown. Let us all the 500 by 500 columns have been placed. Now we would place 600 into 600 columns. Go to draw columns. Now select the property as 600 by 600. Now we would draw the design strips. Go to draw, select draw design strips. Strip layer should be A for drawing in the X direction. The start with left, start with right, and the remaining options are 4 meters as calculated. Now start drawing through the x-axis and to the center of the columns. Now change the strip layer to B for drawing in the Y direction. We have drawn the grid lines in both the X and Y direction, and the grid lines are represented by, it's not the grid lines but the design strips. The design strips are shown by the pink color. Now we would start to assign the properties to the slab. First select the slab. The one area and 4 edges are selected. Now go to the assign, go to the support data, go to soil properties. The soil properties is already there as we had defined it before. Click on OK. The soil property has been assigned. To check, right click on the footing. We can see the soil property is soil. Now click on OK. Now we have to assign the loads on the column. The loads on the column have to be assigned on the basis of the table as shown. Since the dead load as well as the live load for each of the column is different, we have to select the column one by one and add the loads. So first select the first column. One point selected has shown. Now go to the assign, go to the load data, click on point loads. First we will add the dead load. The dead load is as shown. Also mention the dimensions. The dimensions of column 1 are 500 mm by 500 mm. And the dead load acts in the gravity in -z direction. Click on OK. Similarly, for the column 1, we will add the live load. So go to select, click on get previous selection. The first column is selected again. Now go to assign, go to load data, go to point loads, select as live, the live category, add 797.6. The column dimensions are same. Click on OK. The live loads is also acted, is also assigned onto the column. The same procedure has to be repeated for all the remaining columns. The loads on all the columns have been assigned as per the table. Now we would assign the rebar properties onto the footing. For that, right click on the footing, go to the design, from the rebar material, select HYSD 500, click on OK, click on OK again. The rebar property on the footing has been assigned. Similarly, now we have to assign the HYSD 500 rebar property to all the design steps. For that, carefully select the design step, go to the design, in the rebar material, select rebar materials HYSD 500, click on OK, click on OK again. The same procedure is to be repeated for the remaining strip lines in the X direction and in the Y direction. We have assigned all the design strips with the HYSD 500 rebar property. Now we are through with the defining of all the properties as well as the assigning of the properties and the loads. Now we can do the analysis. So go to run, click on run analysis. For that we have to first save our file. Give it a suitable name. Click on save. The analysis has started. The analysis has complete and we can see the various displacement values along the Z direction of the slab. There is a color scheme given on the right side from where we can read the values. However, if we hover our mouse over any area, we can get the value of the displacement of that particular point. Now we will do the design for this footing. Click on run analysis and design. The run analysis and design is complete. Now go to the display, click on show punching shear design. Here we can see that for many columns the punching shear ratio is more than 1. So from this we can infer that most of the columns will fail according to the given load condition. So for correcting this we have to increase the thickness of the slab. So for doing that we have to first unlock our model. Click on OK. Go to define again, click on slab properties, click on modify and show properties, give the thickness as 900 mm, click on OK, click on OK again. So the properties has been assigned onto the footing. Now click on run analysis and design. Go to the display, show punching shear and design. We can see that still some of the columns are having the punching shear ratio greater than 1. So we have to again change the thickness of the slab. So unlock the model, go to define, go to slab properties, go to modify show property, change the thickness now to 1200 mm. Click on OK, click on OK again, go to run analysis and design, go to display, show punching shear design. Now we can see that the punching shear ratio for all the columns is now less than 1. Hence, all the columns are same. All the columns are safe on the footing, and the footing is capable of bearing the loads of all the columns. Hence, our analysis as well as the design is now thoroughly complete. Now we can view different results. For that, we have to go on the display tab, show strip forces. Here we can see the moment as well as the shear force by different load combinations in layer A as well as layer B. So click on apply. We can see the moment diagrams. On hovering a cursor over the moment diagram, we can get the different values. Similarly, we can do for the shear force also. We can also display the slab forces. Go to display, go to slab forces. Here we can get the maximum moment for the load combination 1. Click on apply. So this is the maximum moment diagram. Similarly, we can get the max shear. Click on OK. These are the max shear values for respective columns. By hovering a cursor over the columns, we can get the values. We can also show the crack widths. For that, go to display, go to show crack widths. For different load combinations, we can see the cracks at the slab bottom face as well as on the top face. Click on apply. These are the cracks. Here on the chart you can see that it is written e to the power -3, which means that these cracks are in millimeters. So these are very negligible width, hence these can be ignored. Similarly, we can see at the top face also, and for different load combinations also. We can also see the slab design. Go to display, go to show slab design, click on impose minimum reinforcing, click on impose minimum reinforcing, click on OK. Here we can see the various reinforcing diagram at the top, at the bottom, like how much reinforcement is required on the top layer as well as the bottom layers of the column. Similarly, we can do it for layer B also. Now we would generate the detailing report. Go to run, click on run detailing. All three options will be selected. Click on OK. The detailing report has been shown. Here, from the detailing report, we can get the different information like the rebar table, rebar schedule, and bill of quantities as shown. The rebar table, it gives the list of the bars and the quantity as well as the number as well as the total length. The rebar schedule table is also shown. The bill of quantities shows which bar sizes are required and their lengths as well as their weight in metric ton. We can also get the individual slab views. Click on mat 1. Here we can get the rebar plan, which shows the detailed plan of all the rebars. We can also see the reinforcement profile along the strip layer A. These are the reinforcement profile in the layer A as well as for the layer B. We can also get the reinforcement along section 1.1 and section 2.2. Hence, in this way, I have completed the foundation design for the tall building assignment. Thank you very much. By doing this course, I have improved my skills in the structure as well as foundation software. I am very much grateful to the SkyFi Labs course, and also this has enhanced my skill level. So a very big thanks to the SkyFi team. Thank you very much.